So it is a repeat of last year's quarter-final or semi-final. It actually might even be the semi-final, where we're going to be facing Paris Saint-Germain for a place in the Champions League final for the third year in a row. Second year at this club, third year if you include Wolves as well. But in the meantime, we've won the Premier League, so all is good. Hi there, how you doing? Welcome to part number 16 of Club 4 of the MyCareer save here on Football Manager, still 2024. My name is Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video, where it's a double bill Paris Saint-Germain. We're going to play both legs. We won the league last season. We got that out of the way. The save at this point is all about winning the Champions League at least once, hopefully more than once. So what we want to do is really focus on that. So today it's just going to be the semi-final, first leg, second leg. Hoping for a final in the next video. Fingers crossed. But if you're excited to see whether we can actually make that happen, then don't forget to leave a big like on the video for me and hit that subscribe button so don't miss any of the nonsense that comes out of this face right here. So, as I mentioned, we've won the Premier League. That is all done and all sorted. Our recent fixtures look like this. Ipswich and Nottingham Forest beat them. Ipswich was a struggle. Against Nottingham Forest, we went to a 4-2-3-1. Back to that old chestnut, which I believe was the one that we... Did we use that last season? No, we used the 4-3-3 last season. We started this season trying to use the 4-2-3-1, didn't we? And then we ended up reverting back. Yeah, it's come back in fashion because, again, if you look against Man United, we used a variation of it. It was it the version that we... Yeah, it's this version, actually. We used this. It worked against Manchester United. It worked against Nottingham Forest. Admittedly, they're two very different kettles of fish in terms of quality of opponents. But it definitely felt better. It looks better. It flowed better. And Villalba has scored 3 in his last 2, which is good to see. A bit concerned Pitchford's gone a bit anonymous. He didn't play at all in the last game, though. That was by design, just to give him a bit of a rest. So he is actually starting today. Villalba's best performances have typically come when he's come off the bench. So we're going to go with that today. The other thing I'm also going with today, I'll quickly kind of show you and spoil it, is that we're not going to be starting Darvic. Shockquist starts here. We're having Gavi and Armstrong in the middle because, to me, away from home, that's a more defensive kind of stable kind of platform to build off of. And in the second leg, my plan is Shockquist goes there. Gavi either goes off the starting 11 or he goes in place of Armstrong, and then we can have Darvic here. My overall plan, if we go into a third season with Arsenal, is Darvic will end up playing over here. I'm determined to make it work in some way, shape or form, but it is what it is. We do need to talk about Bukayo Saka, though. 2 games in a row, he's actually doing quite well. 7.8 in the second to last game. Scored and got 2 assists in the last game against Middlesbrough then, against Nottingham Forest, which was great to see. And also Aduro back to a bit of form as well. The entire starting 11, the majority of it is back to a bit of form as well. Darvic is just unfortunate today. If it wasn't for the fact that this was the away leg and we didn't have the luxury of being at home, I would start him. I just don't want to take the risk. And also, Memphis Teller's kind of played himself back into a little bit of form as well. So it feels a bit silly not to start him. But just to confirm, that is the Premier League table with 3 games left to go. 94 points, huge advantage over Wolves. Wolves are slipping up a little bit. Newcastle just kind of getting back into there a little bit. But it is what it is. We've also made it through to the FA Cup final. We beat Manchester United at Wembley. A 3-0 score. Tell, Martinelli, Armstrong all getting goals just to see us through as well. That was done with the 4-3-3, but we did have to modify it several times during the game to get that result. So take that with a pinch of salt, I would beg you. But anyway, enough of that nonsense. Let's get to the game against Paris Saint-Germain. This is the 11 that we're going to be going with. It is Owusu Aduro in goal, Tokic, Sotalo, Colwill and Catanano in defence, Armstrong and Gavi, as mentioned, in the midfield, with Saka, Shockquist and Tell supporting Pitchford up front. Shockquist, the only thing I will do is I'm going to take off Dribble more. He's not a particularly good dribbler, so there's no point having him doing that. But that's the 11. Injury wise, we do still have injuries to I don't know why these are all blue, by the way. Harto and Paniagua are both still out. Voloshin is actually back, so he'll go on the bench. There we go. That's changed that a little bit. But yeah, those 2 being out is still a bit of a problem, which is the main reason why Colwill is starting, although he has played well in his last 5, so that's not too bad. I'd love to give Tokic a rest, but again, Laskowski's doing well as a centre-back. I don't really want to trust him in a big game like this as a right-back, so we'll go with what we go with. Also, tactically, I've changed these guys back to wing-backs. They just seem to be doing a bit more with that, so I'm quite okay with that. I've left us on attacking mentality. I probably should change that. We are away from home, but let's give it a go to begin with. And if we feel like we're getting a bit too exposed, we'll knock it back to positive, and we might have a bit of a tactical tweak. I've had a bit of a tactical tweak as well, actually, just to try and help the balance of the team is probably the best way I can describe it. And I don't know whether it will work, but it seemed to work in the last game. It's a bit of a gamble going with it in this one. They've got a very good team, as you would expect. It is Paris Saint-Germain, and they obviously got to this stage last season. So here we go. It's away from home. I'm expecting it to be a difficult game, but we've got the second leg to try and claw it back if anything goes wrong. I was expecting that to go top bins, I'm not going to lie. Kind of glad it didn't. Right, we are off to a flyer, with the first highlight being a Paris Saint-Germain one, and the second one as well. We are getting a little bit buried here, so we do need to be very cautious. Satalo heads out only as far as Kangin Lee, which is a bit disappointing. Vitinha, back to Lee. Lee going for a goal. It's actually fell to Gavi here, and if we can get some bodies forward, we can start a counter-attack. Ball cannot get to Saka. Nuno Mendes does a good job there. I'm not pressing the goalkeeper like I normally would. I don't know whether I'll change that. I might do, but my theory is if we don't press the goalkeeper, then the players can focus on pressing the defence. That's poor from Shockquist. That is poor from Shockquist. He's given the ball away when we had a chance there. And Vinny Jr. now, he's got players around him. Is he going to be able to skip past them? He is doing that. If we can get the ball off him, that'd be great. Oh, we could have got an interception there. We don't get it, and we're made to pay. There's several times we could have stopped that goal from happening, and we haven't done it. Now we need to work for it. We really do. We really, really do. Vinny Jr., we could get him at any point, and we just don't. And then here, it's George Armstrong. No, it's Shockquist. To be fair, he's not very good defensively, so I'm not too surprised by that. Okay, I'm going to demand more from the boys. Poor start. We've had no shots. We need to get into this game, and we need to do it soon. They are dominating the ball, so I'm just going to drop us down a little bit. And just see if we can get a bit more of the ball, because if we don't have the ball, we can't do anything. Let's get the ball a bit more, let's start passing it around, and let's just see if we can fashion a few chances here or there, because at the moment we're not really doing much. We're actually getting a bit of momentum behind us. I want to see some shots start happening. Possession's gone up a bit as well, but the shots aren't coming at the moment, and if we don't have any shots, we can't get a goal. Right, highlight with us in their half. Armstrong to Tokic. Tokic going to go out wide here. Whipping it in, looking for Tal Donnarumma, who is too good for that, quite frankly. And it is going to be Paris Saint-Germain's ball. They're now going to try and get it forward. Although we are crowding the keeper, we're stopping him have any good short options. I really appreciate us doing that. He's actually gone to Gueye out wide. He's the one player who wasn't covered. And now here come Paris Saint-Germain. It's the one glaring error that we didn't cover is Marc Gueye, which is probably one of the players, as I said, no, cover him. In my experience, using him, he can make a mistake or two. And we really should have covered him and we didn't. So now we've just given them the ball kind of for free, really. Right, here come Paris Saint-Germain. We're almost afraid of going for them here. We need to start getting in and tackling them. Considering we've got the two defensive midfield boys, they're not really doing much. Again, poor. We haven't done the full interception there. Have I knocked it back on here? No, I haven't. We're just not pressing them enough. And we're 2-0 down. I'm going to berate them. I'm actually really disappointed that I don't mind us losing, but when you can see something like that interception not happening, like watch it here. He just steps off of it. Gavi just steps off of it. It's the midfield is letting us down in this game. Gavi's actually been one of the better performers and he's gone and done that. We've had a shot finally, by the way, but the momentum that we've built up, when they're in possession, we just seem to be allergic to tackling them. Maybe that's what we need to do. Right, the hard tackle there, but it's been given to Vitinha. It's gone wide. Owusu-Aduro's not on a bad game. He's not having a great one. We're going to get stuck in on them. Let's just try and push them a little bit more. I feel like we need one goal in this. If we go into the second leg 2-1, we can survive that. 2-0 is going to be really difficult because they are playing very well. We've had another shot. Mensum's kind of gone back in their favour. I am going to have a shout at the boys with this one. And we're going to go around them and just have a word with a few of them. Saka, he's gone the other way. I'm disgusted with how poor in a big game he's playing because he should be lighting it up. I'm going to tell them that they're not good enough, and then we're going to tell these guys that they weren't bad, but they can do better. I'll tell that to him as well. Right, tactically what we can do. I mean, we could go back to the 4-3-3 and see if that'll make a difference. Because again, against Manchester United, it was a decent formation. It feels like a bit of a ridiculous thing to do. Okay, I'm going to give it a go, because I think maybe just going for the new tactic in this game wasn't a wise idea. I have done a couple of changes though. I'm going to put Saka over on this side. He had a great game over on that side when I used him. I can't remember which game it was, but I've used him recently on that side and he did play well. I'm going to give him a chance for a little bit, but he's had a poor start to the game. I'm taking Colwill off just because he's losing discipline. I don't want to risk that. And I mean, I don't really know what else we can do. I'm going to keep the tempo lower because we seem to be getting a bit more of a control over the game with that. And we're going to continue going in hard on the players. I don't know. Or do we double down on the tempo, go higher, and just try and counter-attack them? I'm actually feeling we might do that. Let's give it a go. We can always change it, but at the moment we're already 2 down. We need to do something crazy to kind of get us back into the game. Let's fire the boys up and let's just see if we can just jump back into the game. I've just lost us a highlight there. I don't know whether anything would have come from it, but let's just get back into this game. Let's just see if we can just get a bit of a foothold and just start kind of chipping away. We've got a free kick here. Darwich to take. He's just come on, obviously. Looking to put it in the back of the net. He doesn't. He does win a corner, though, and he will go and take it, which is good. We have to do it by set pieces. I don't mind. Right. Again, 1 goal. If we lose this game 2-1, I think we're in decent shape. We've tried a sneaky set piece there. It's not worked. Nuno Mendes has nicked it off of us. Right. Can we get the ball off of him, please? Our ball recovery has been the worst part of our game today. Like, just getting the ball off of them has been shocking. And we just need to start getting a bit better at it. Right, demand more from the boys. Momentum's great, but we need to convert it into something, and we need to do it now. Saka's not having a great game. I'm going to take that off, actually. Yeah, we'll stop doing the early crosses. Chance, huge chance. We do not take it, though. We do not take it. A 2-goal deficit in the second leg. We can do it, but I don't really want to have to rely on us doing it, but we are definitely having a better second half here. Right, Saka's starting to improve. Pitchford's coming off of Villalba. Let's get Villalba on. Shockwist and Gavi not having good games. I'm going to keep Shockwist on. Marcotta's going to come on for Gavi. Tokic is having a really, really poor game. Kadioglu is going to come on for him. We'll keep him as a wing back. He's actually had a couple of decent games recently. We need something just to G us into it. I mean, maybe Villalba will spark us into it a bit, but it looks like we are starting to get there. Darwich is definitely having a decent effect on the game. I'm a bit disappointed in Shockwist, though. I mean, I'd like to see more from him. Right. We are dire straits at this point. We need a goal, and we kind of need it now. Right. Final change. Saka, he recovered a little bit. He's really not had a good one today. It's going to be Martinelli who comes on for him. And do you know what? I'm going to go the 3 strikers. I did this recently and it obviously worked. So let's give it a go. I'm saying that I've got such a bad memory. I don't know whether that was on camera or not. We're going to do that. We're going to go wide. And we're just going to hope. I'm going to take Expressive off. I'm just going to hope that we can get something going with this. Then I tell you what, we're going to step up more. When we get the ball, let's just try and reduce the amount of space they've got to work with. These guys can fly up a little bit. These guys can kind of do their thing. I'm going to make Martinelli on attack. I'm going to swap them around, actually. Martinelli can go on attack on this side. Tel can go support on this side. Darwich is going to come and assist him. Let's do that. Final few minutes. Let's just see if we've got a goal in us. We've definitely done better in this second half. But they've been very, very good. Right. Martinelli, Kadioglu, Tel. Trying to hold the ball up. Gets it back to Kadioglu. Back into Tel. Whipping it in. Looking for Villalba. Just over. That's a great opportunity, but we go high with it. We need to stay low with it. We're not really the best in the air. And we've given it all to do, haven't we? Yeah, we've given it ourselves all to do in the second leg. The loss, it's 2-0. I don't think it was a 2-0 game. Our XG actually was very, very close. I'm going to say I'm far from pleased. That puts a bit of pressure on us for the second leg. To be honest with you, that's not necessarily the end of the world. But I'm not happy with that as a performance. There's some really disappointing performances in that game. Tokic was poor. But to be fair, he's been playing almost non-stop. He's been probably shattered. Pitchford, again, has just disappeared completely. I'm going to warn him again about his recent form. And point the finger. I mean, I'm saying I'm going to consider dropping him. I've already considered it. He's off. Villalba goes in. We're here another season. Villalba's the starting striker. And Pitchford's going to have to make his way back into the team. because he has really... I'm going to go as far as to say he's been letting us down. I'm really disappointed, by the way, that this tactic seemed to work beautifully, and then all of a sudden it falls apart. So back we go to the 4-3-3. We just seem to always come back around to this formation. I want to swear, but I'm not going to. Right, Gavi was really poor in that last game as well, so he can come off. I'll sort the team out. This is going to be for the Bournemouth game, so you're not even going to need to worry about this. I'll be back in a few minutes. We'll go to the second leg. I will see if we can turn around that 2-0 deficit and try and, at this point, inexplicably get to a Champions League final, but it's not looking likely. Premier League side quest ended with a win, 3-1 against Bournemouth away from home. Bit disappointed we conceded that goal, but it is what it is. Tao scoring, Satalo scoring with an assist from Darvic, and Bukayo Saka getting a goal as well as a substitute, which is never a bad thing. So decent day at the office was had by all, but we now find ourselves with the second leg. Again, just to remind you, we did play Paris Saint-Germain in the semi-final last year and we beat them very comfortably. So, I don't know. But we're going to go back to the 4-3-3 because, you know, why not? And this is the 11 that we're going to be hoping can take us through to a consecutive Champions League final. A third one in a row. We have lost 2 in a row. Don't know if I mentioned it. No, hang on. I keep saying that we've lost 2 in a row. We haven't. We didn't make it to the final in Wolves. We got to the semi-final and that was it. So this is the 3rd time that we've got to this point, but we've not got to the final more than just the once last season. But again, the holders by Leverkusen knocked out. So, you know, maybe we can go one better this year. The 11 we're going to go with after I've rambled is also Aduro in goal, Kadioglu, Satalo, Colwill and Catanano in defence, Armstrong, Shockquist and Darvic in the middle with Saka and Tell supporting Villalba up front. It's kind of the classic 11. We are still waiting for injuries to return. Harto is literally days away. Paniagua is a little bit further away. Maybe if we get through to a Champions League final, we'll have them available for that, but we'll have to wait and see. Shockquist is not happy about starting. I mean... what can I tell you? Oh, exciting news. Well, I say exciting. Gaston Garcia, one of the youngsters that we signed, the Uruguayan youngster, 22 years old, I believe he is. Signed him because he looked like he had decent potential, ended up having half decent potential. My first player I've ever encountered on Football Manager who's gone absent from training because he's had a wobbly. Threw a wobbly at me because he wants to have more game time. I told him no. So he then... said he wanted to leave. I said, yep, fine. I then had to go with him and said that his professionalism wasn't very good or criticised his conduct. That was it. And then from that, he was absent from training for a few days. So he's obviously been fined in accordance with the code of conduct. Oh, if we'd have conceded there, I'd have been so annoyed. He's been fined in accordance with the code of conduct and he's been demoted to the under-18s because I'm not having that. He's on the transfer list. I'm not going to push him for a sale though. If someone wants to come in for him, they can have him. I don't like the fact that we're giving them so much momentum at the moment. I really don't. I'm going to encourage the boys. Let's just try and get a bit more going here. Let's up the tempo a little bit. Try and get a little bit more going. We're having possession, but we need to do some more with it. Right. I don't like the fact that we keep having our highlights start with goal kicks. Right. Out to Catanano. Catanano into Tell. Tell looking for Villalba. That's a really poor pass, actually. I don't like this as a beginning. We're going up against a team who are a very good team. Yes, it's at home, but we're hoping that they stuff up like that, quite frankly. Villalba makes it 1-0. Right. Early goal. That's exactly what we needed. What I was going to say was we've given ourselves a lot to do with a 2-0 deficit to overturn. We might need to rely on them making a mistake. And that's exactly what happened there. And it's Saka with the assist, actually, which is good to see. And all of a sudden, it's 2-1. We have a goal. The momentum maybe shifts with us a little bit. But we've still got a long way to go. We need them to do that again, or we need us to start playing better to force them into conceding a goal. And then we're all level. We've still got to then win the game after that. But we are having more shots than the momentum is slightly in our favour. I'd love another highlight before the end of the half. And if we can maybe get ourselves level and have 45 minutes as a 2-2 scoreline, I think I'd be really, really happy with that. As it is, I am happy, but I don't really want... No, I think it's not going to happen. What I really would have loved is level at half-time. It's not going to happen. That's fine. I'm going to say that one. Let's try and go down the revenge angle. Tell's not had a great game. Darvic is not had a great game either, which is a bit disappointing. I'm going to say that to those two. I'd like a bit more from Catanano. The other defenders have done well, though, so I'm not going to chastise them. We're going to say that to them. And Armstrong, Saka, and Villalba will say that too. Right, do we make any changes or do we stick? Darvic can still come back into the game, so I think we stick for now. I'm just debating, do we change him? But I mean, he's worked so well as a playmaker. I don't feel like it would be of any benefit, really. I really don't. I think we stick with how we're doing. We're doing okay. We don't need to worry about changing much. We've put the tempo up. I'm thinking, do we maybe go down one of the wings? I mean, the right-hand side is looking the best at the moment, so let's focus our play down the right. And let's just see. In fact, no. We're going to go down the middle and try and do overlaps. Let's try and do that a little bit. Okay. In fact, let's just see. How are they doing in their midfield? Their midfield's doing okay. Inacio is actually stepping forward. So let's try and go through the middle and try and break through that defence a little bit. And actually, let's go down their left-hand side because Guay is struggling. So overlapping down the right, I think, is a good thing to do. Let's get the ball down the middle. Let's focus it down in this direction once we get it. That sounds like a good plan. Although momentum-wise, they are starting the half the better team. Let's fire the boys up. Let's get ourselves that second goal just to equalise things. Get ourselves on level terms. And then we can see what we can do from there. Right. Donnarumma gets it out to Bon. Bon. Oh, Villalba makes an error there. And Villalba gets the ball. And he does make it level. He doesn't make the error, sorry. He forces the error. And Villalba has basically made the goal there. Would Pitchford have done that? No, he wouldn't have. I don't think. Villalba's done a great job there. He's just forced the defensive midfielder. Is it? Which one is it? Is it Bon who's done that? No, it's Sarr, the midfielder. He's forced Sarr into making a mistake there. Gets the pass. Sharquist gets an assist as well to help him out. And all of a sudden, it's all to play for. 2-0 on the night. 2-2 on aggregate. We've come back into the tie. And we're in the driving seat. Right. Substitute o'clock. Tell's off. He's not had a good game. Martinelli's going to come on for him. Catanano's off. Ruggeri's on. And I'm looking at Darvic, but I think we'll leave him for the time being. But Iglesias is there. And we know he's got a bit of magic in him. But for now, I'll leave Darvic on. He is tiring, though, so we won't leave it too long for that one. We go again. Right. Demand more. Let's get a third. A Villalba hat-trick to get us into the final. And to cement him as our starting striker would be the thing. It really would be. Right. I'm holding off on the changes because I don't think we're going to score here. I think it's going to go to extra time. Again. Oh, hello. News came up then. Right. Kadioglu. Sharquist. We've got a late highlight here. Sharquist into Saka. Saka into Villalba. It's a late corner. It's a late corner. Darvic will go over and take it. Darvic has improved as the game has gone on, which is good to see. The wings haven't really done much of a job, which it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Saka was doing much better. He's dropped down a bit. Right, Darvic. Can he get it to someone? Looking for the head of Satalo here, I think. That's who I'd be looking for. Whips it in. It's Colwill. Doesn't get there, but he will get the ball back. No, Darvic lets it go out for a throw-in, actually. We can reposition. Don't think the highlight will continue here. No, it does. Okay, Kadioglu into Sharquist. Loses the ball. Oh, it's poor from Kadioglu. We've given them the ball here. No reason to do it. Oh, Sharquist, I tell you what. I've criticised his defensive capabilities, but he did a great job there. Right. Okay, let's just have a quick look at them and see how they're doing and reassess. So they have made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 changes. They've still got one left. We're going in hard on all the players I'd like to. We're going to press Danduka because Danduka is one of their central defenders. I'm also going to say let's press their defensive midfielder and hope he makes a mistake. Now, I'm going to give Martinelli a bit of a chance. I'm also going to change him to that. Let's have him getting a bit further forward and cutting in more. I'm also going to... I need to take a midfielder off because they're all tiring. I'm actually going to take Armstrong off for Marcotta. I'm going to go more defensive-minded for this one. And I don't really want to take Darvic off because he has started to get better, but he's tiring. So I'm thinking Iglesias comes on, gets further forward, and then we've still got 2 changes we can make. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with that. Right. Let's do that. I am happy with how this has gone. This is exactly what we wanted. Exactly what we wanted. Right, you two. Do that. You two. Get better. Everyone else, I'm quite content with how you're doing, to be fair. So we're not going to mess about anymore. Right. Let's go out there. Let's get a goal. Let's settle this. And then we can kind of chill out for the last couple of Premier League games before the final. We've got an FA Cup final, by the way. I don't know if I've mentioned that, but we've got that to come as well. So, right. Fire up. I'm going to make my last couple of changes. Shockwist is knackered. I'm actually going to bring on Gavi in a bit of an unfamiliar playmaking role, but he can do the job. And then these are the players I've got. I mean, don't really want to bring Pitchford on, to be honest with you, because I don't think he's done enough to deserve it. So I'm thinking, do we do something defensively? I'm thinking Tokic. As good as Kadioglu has been, I'm just thinking for freshness. Yeah, let's do it. Tokic is on. He'll still be a wing back. It's gone down to 2-star, which is a bit disappointing. Have they made their final change? No, they haven't. They've still got it. How Vinicius Jr. hasn't, like, fallen apart yet, I don't know. Right. Final 2 changes. Slightly defensive change bringing Gavi on, but he's also got a motor so he can run up and down. Right. Highlight. Iglesias, he's got a decent free kick. Satalo, couldn't get my words out then, and Marcotta has the perfect chance, but it is a free kick. It's offside, and that is half time of extra time. Let's just go straight into it. Demand more from the boys. They're defending for their lives here, Paris Saint-Germain. We have a corner. Martinelli whips it in. Villalba's under it. Colwill's there. Gets it back to Iglesias. In fact, Vitinha's got in front of him. We're going to look to try and nick the ball off of him, force him into an error here. He goes back to Vanderson. Vanderson back to Donnarumma. We started things off with a defensive mistake. Can we end things with... In fact, both of our goals were defensive mistakes. Vinny Jr. to Sarr. Vinny Jr. is out on his feet here. Sarr's got to be not far behind either. I don't like that we're giving them possession here. De Catalare, he's come on at some point. I don't like the fact that he's on the pitch. Into Vitinha. Marcotta intercepts well. Vitinha obviously shattered. Iglesias now. Looking up, gets it to Martinelli. Martinelli bursting forward here. Martinelli, he's going to cut back. He goes back to Villalba, and it's a Conrado Villalba hat-trick that may have just got us into the Champions League final and may have just bailed us out in the semi-final. 2-0 down in the first leg in Paris. Come back to the Emirates. We get 2 goals in normal time, and we've just got a third in added time. And now what we need to do is make sure we don't screw this up. That's a tall ask. We don't change anything, do we? We keep playing how we play. We don't want to change anything when it's working. 4-3-3 coming back into fashion. Maybe it is. Right. Final. Couple of minutes. I was going to pause to make some changes there. We don't need to. We're through to the final. What a ridiculous couple of games that was. And Villalba, he's the starting striker now. Daniel Pitchford. Honestly, if I am still here next season, his backup striker will sell. I wanted an English striker, and I wanted an English striker to do well. I think we signed the wrong one. What a game from Conrado Villalba. Talk about announcing yourself into the bloody world of football proper. What a performance from this young man. I mean, to be fair, look at his goal return in the Premier League. When you consider how many games he started, 14, and he started 7, okay, 16 sub appearances. A lot of those will be sub goals as well. But in the Champions League, he's only started once. He's only started that last game. That's the only Champions League game he started, and he's gone and scored a hat-trick. He's the starting striker. And also, if we do move this summer, I'm going for him. He's going to be the player we go for. What a player. I mean, recently his form, yes, he had that injury. Maybe that injury was what he needed, just have a bit of a break. Wow, what a game. And that means we are now in the Champions League final, which is against Juventus or Manchester United. Well, we can beat Manchester United. And also, apologies, my hard drive decided it wants to be full, even though there's no reason it should be. So, I need to look at that. But I managed to get enough room just to finish this off. I think I was going to tell you that we beat Juventus earlier in the season quite heavily. So, I'm obviously hoping it's them. But again, beat Man United back in December. We beat them at Wembley 3-0 there. We beat them in the league there as well. We can beat Manchester United, but then, you know, it's Champions League, who knows what could happen, and it's Man United in the Champions League, who knows what could happen. Anyway, that's going to be enough for today's drama-filled video. Just to confirm again, I know we already went through the Premier League. That's how it's currently looking. We've got 2 teams who are now relegated. We're on 97 points with 2 games to play. We've lost 1 game, scored over 100 goals, and we've got the best defence in the league, second, with the only team kind of close to us, by the way, being Newcastle. So they're obviously having a good time. Looking at this, just to quickly show you the stats of everything, Saka is very close to being the top goal scorer, but he's not going to be. It's just not going to happen. Owusu Aduro is going to be the guy with the clean sheet golden glove. Happy with that. Saka's the best player in the league at the moment. If we didn't play him again, he would be cemented at that, and he's also not far away from assists as well. Although I've complained about him, it's been Bukayo Saka's season, so very, very happy with that. I want to see who our next goal scorer is. It's actually Villalba with 14 goals. Pitchford's not far. Darvish is not far. But, yeah, I think we're pretty certain we know who's going to be our starting striker next season if we're here. And I know who I'm going to go for if we end up leaving. But that's going to do it for today's video. I will see you for the Champions League final. I don't think I'm going to show the FA Cup final. I think it's just going to be a 1-game video in the next one. And it's going to be that all-important Champions League final. And let's see whether we can actually get ourselves to winning that trophy for the first time in this save. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like on there for me. And hit that subscribe button if you've enjoyed as well, so you don't miss out on any of the nonsense that comes from the channel in the future. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.